Welcome back. So the Gauteng Education Department says 5 pupils have been arrested for the torching of a secondary school in Krugersdorp. 2 mobile classrooms were set alight this afternoon at Thuto-Lefa, a secondary school in Munsieville. It's alleged that the 4 grade 10 learners and a grade 9 pupil were unhappy with the recent timetable changes introduced by the school. The department says it will introduce measures to ensure minimum disruption of schooling, including temporary infrastructure. For more on this, we are joined by the Gauteng Education spokesperson, Mr. Steve Mabona, joining us via video link. Mr. Mabona, good evening to you. Thank you so much for joining us. Perhaps talk to us about how you would describe the amount of destruction that has been seen at Thuto-Lefa Secondary School.
Good evening, lady and all our viewers. You could see the 2 classrooms are destroyed, and in addition, you can see the third one. There's an element of fire that is affected the class. So we will be at the school tomorrow to assess and make sure that we then take decisive action on what is it that we're going to be doing to support the school. But yes, indeed, it's quite sad that this is alleged that it's learners who might have done this. I mean, it can't be the security issue, like as it's raised by the community members. If it's learners who are not happy about what is happening at the school and they decide to destroy what is supposed to be assisting them, it's quite unfortunate. And I think as a community and parents, we also need to look at that and check what is our role when coming to instilling discipline to our children.
Yeah, but I imagine that, of course, the Department of Education has had some interaction with the SGB. Just exactly what you're hearing about how this happened. I mean, there's reports that the learners were upset about timetable changes.
Yeah, quite bizarre. I mean, the information at our disposal dictates that there was unhappiness about the changes on the timetable. I mean, if a school decides to make some adjustments because of what will then be assisting the learners in revision and making sure that they have ample time to prepare for the examinations that are coming, you cannot then be taking such a decision where you're going to distract things. It's a matter of you utilizing your learner representation, because learners are represented at our schools. Interact with the school management if you have things to raise. You cannot then decide to say we must ruin our future, affect all other learners in the school. And it's worse. I mean, those mobile classes, we're utilizing those for grade 8 learners. All these other grades, they are in the structure that you could see in the picture, that the mobile units, we are utilizing that for the grade 8. So you go and destroy something that other children must benefit. You are not even grade 8, I mean, because these are grade 10, 4 of them, and then you have 1 grade 9. So you can see that really this was untoward.
Yeah, you know, as we speak to the community members that you hear, and you talk about how security issues that are being raised cannot be to blame here, but one of them says you can look at the fencing, it's a free-for-all. During the day, you are seeing people coming to the learners, sharing stuff with the learners, not knowing what it is. I mean, this speaks to perhaps a troubled community that has easy access to these children, perhaps even giving them bad influences. I mean, talk to me about some of those challenges, the culture issues that we're seeing in the school. And I'm talking about, you know, the everyday culture of these learners in that school and what you found.
Look, we will assess, you know, very closely, because if a school is troubled in the sense of the security issues, we will then empower the school to make sure that it's secured. So we'll be visiting the school tomorrow. We will be in a position to guide the district on what is it that they can do to make sure that there's safety. But you know, our schools are utilizing patrollers which are linked to the Department of Community Safety, and like they are mentioning Amapanyaza, at some point we will then probably request that they must be visible in the school. But if it's dire, we will then procure, a security company for a certain period, not permanently, which will then be assisting us. But we need to assess and check on what is it that they are raising. But parents cannot abdicate their responsibility of instilling discipline in their children on things that they can manage. Because if learners are ill-disciplined, we must then make sure that children know when they go to school, what is it that they're going to do there, to learn or to do things that are untoward.
Yeah, but what is in the power of the Department of Education to deal with ill discipline? I mean, you talk about parents needing to play their role. That's a much bigger discussion. But just how much power the Department of Education has to go into a school and say, we've got a problem of discipline here. This is what we can do.
No, parents are empowered by the legislation. Remember, parents are given an opportunity to elect an SGB. An SGB, it's parents. Parents, they take responsibility of discipline at the school because this is their children. So you can't be an SGB if you don't have a child at the school. So you need to then enforce. There's a code of conduct. There's no school that does not have a code of conduct. As a department, we give them the template on things that they need to look at, the features of a code of conduct, on how they need to then take that and make sure that they add on whatever they want to add in terms of making sure that their children are disciplined. So we just give them a template to say, this is how you can go, but then you are allowed to add on things that you feel as the parent body you cannot allow in a school. So they are empowered. That's why we are saying parents need to really assist us to instill discipline in their children.
And now you also have the massive responsibility of replacing that infrastructure. Is a plan in place yet?
No, not really. That's why I said the incident occurred today. So officials will be at the school to assess, and we should be in a position to know on what is it that we're going to do. But in the interim, the two classes, we will then have to make sure that we put them in the other classes. They need to be accommodated there. They will be sitting with the problem of overcrowding because of a decision that was taken by learners. And it said that then opposition parties would be then running to the school and say, there's overcrowding, meanwhile knowing that we're challenged there.
Yeah. And of course, we're hearing that each grade has about 40 kids. So, so that is going to be quite a challenge. I do need to bring this up, though, before I let you go, and that, of course, now being a broader discussion, where we are in Gauteng with the process of registering grade 8 learners and grade 1 learners for 2026.
We are at over 600,000 in terms of the number of applications that we have recorded. And what we are seeing is the number of parents that are not coming to our walk-in centers. Remember, we announced that we're going to have about 81 walk-in centers. And we see steadily the numbers are not as what we expected. So we want to call upon parents not to wait up until the last minute. We are closing on the 29th of August, and we anticipate that at least if we can have over 800,000 of applications, it will give us an indication that yes, the over 400,000 spaces that we have will be in a position to accommodate parents. Then probably in January, we will then expect maybe a lesser number of parents that will be coming in January. If we can have probably less than 10,000 of those that will be coming in January, we know that we will be in a position to plan properly. But we really call upon parents to make sure that before we close the system on the 29th, they should be in the system. And when we then start with the process of providing space on the 16th of October, they should be ready to receive those SMSs.
Okay, well, we're going to leave it there. Thank you so much for speaking to us, Steve Mabona, the spokesperson for the Gauteng Department of Education.